Hello, and welcome to the second day of the European Nations Poker Challenge here in the stunning city of St. Petersburg. Like a Fabergé jewel nestling beneath the frosty bosom of the Arctic Circle, this magnificent city is home to some of the most beautiful buildings and women in the world. Amazingly, some Russian cars are made entirely out of damp cardboard and recycled dustbins. The Russian language is written using the Cyrillic alphabet, which was named after a monk called Cyril, who clearly drank because he got some of the letters backwards. One of the most impressive buildings in St. Petersburg is made entirely from the bones of imperial whelks. The gold paint on the dome was mixed with buckets of tears that were squeezed from the eyes of oppressed peasants by tubby midgets in wedding dresses. Overlooking the wonderfully watery Moika Canal is the luxurious Talion Club. If you board a boat outside the club and travel a few miles down the canal, you will pass many palatial residences before eventually arriving at the luxurious Talion Club. The canal is circular. Pleasure steamers in Russia are well armed and made of a secret Cold War material called crudite, and they all smell of partridges, but in a very good way. Author of The Cherry Orchard and Enterprise helmsman Anton Chekhov once said of this city, St. Petersburg, where the hell is that? This is because it was called Petrograd at the time. But we're not here for the culture, we're here for the poker. The European Nations Poker Challenge is held over a 4-day period. Teams consist of 6 players representing England, Sweden, Scotland, Russia, Ukraine, Finland, and the Baltic states. This is the first televised tournament to feature not only Texas Hold'em, but also 7-card stud, Omaha, and high-low variations thereof. Please don't panic, everything will be explained in due course.
And over to my fellow poker professional and last year's European #1, Dave Goldclough, to explain the game.
Okay, today's game at the European Nations Poker Challenge is 7-card stud. Again, we're playing at pot limit, and again, I'm going to try and attempt to show you how the game's played. This is slightly different than Texas Hold'em in the fact that every player who wants to be dealt a hand has to put an initial ante into the pot. The dealer will then deal 2 face-down cards to each player and 1 up card to each player, and we'll have another round of betting at this stage. So when this round of betting is complete, the dealer will then deal a 4th card to each player. We'll have the round of betting again. The dealer will then deal a 5th card to each player. And then the final card is dealt face down to each player.
Thank you for that, David. And let's have a quick look at the ranking of the hands. At the top, and the hand that every poker professional wants to make, is a royal flush. That's 10 to ace, all of the same suit. Closely followed by a straight flush, which is 5 cards in a row, also of the same suit. Then it's 4 of a kind, which is 4 cards of the same number. Full house, which is 3 of one thing and 2 of another. A flush, 5 cards, all of the same suit. A straight, 5 cards in a row. 3 of a kind, 3 of the same number. 2 pair and 1 pair is exactly what they say. And a high card is when you've got none of the above, and you just play your high card.
That's the extremely well-informed voice of Gary the Choir Boy Jones. Gary, ever had a royal flush?
A couple of them, yes. Especially during Omaha, you have a few more possibilities there. So the points at the end of the first day. Sweden, with 3 people in the final, managed to get up to 128 points. Scotland, although they actually won it, only ended up with 74. Russia with 36. England 32. Ukraine 28. Finland 26. And the Baltic states with only 22.
Do you know, I had a royal flush once.
Really?
Yeah. I told Prince Edward a dirty joke. Now then.
We join the action at the qualifying stage of day 2. That's Bill Valbeck from Finland.
Years to go before he becomes a shadow of his former self. Good-looking boy, lovely skin.
And Dave Goldclough with very short chips, and here's why.
One of the world's best-known poker players, and what a muck-up he's made today.
What Dave actually started doing today is playing the wrong game. He sat down and started playing 7 stud high-low and couldn't work out why he started losing pots. Kept on thinking, I should be getting half of this back. And that's why he's down in chips. Stefan Osland from Team Sweden. And Dave got down in chips, eventually started playing the correct game, and then he was dangerous, actually winning a pot. The Russians didn't have a very good day on day 2. That's their team leader, Kirill.
The finger hockey.
Yevgeny Kafelnikov. And David Meyer, the winner from the first day.
Probably low on chips though, Gary.
Yes, he didn't last much longer than that, unfortunately.
Well, I think after the win yesterday, tonight just wasn't my night, and hopefully my teammates will make up for my deficiencies in stud. Stud's never been my game, so hopefully they can get some points on the board for us. Stuart, our captain, Stuart Carnegie, is looking good so far, so I think he'll be our main hope for tonight. We don't care who it is as long as someone gets a load of points for us.
We still have 2 players among the top 20, so we're going to get some points today, I hope. Michael Turitz has a pretty good stack, about twice the stack that Ken Leonard has. I think Ken is about 15,000 now, which is, I believe, an average stack, and Michael on about 30 or 40,000, so he's never played 7-card stud either, but Ken made a little crash course before we sat down today, and he's a very good teacher, I guess. Well, everybody is out there to beat the Swedes since we dominated yesterday, got lots of points, so nobody really wants us to get anything today. But this is our weakest event, and we know it in before, so any points up today will be a good result for us.
Do you do that in England?
Never.
No.
We are still 4 left, and the strategy now is to really get the Swedes out, basically. The Russians are doing quite well, but as you can see, that they are very, very noisy, coming to each other's tables, and it can disturb your thinking, you know, when you are trying to think. And they get up and shout and say, oh, we are all in, and so on and so on, and they all get round to you, which is fine, you know, as spectators, but when they making too much noise, it can disturb your thoughts, you know, yeah.
The controversy there from Doolally Lally. In fact, he's so upset he's getting a massage.
Just to help him relax.
Absolutely.
We're doing well, and I'm coping. I'm coping against those noises.
Good stuff, Lally. And here's the English team captain, Murray Brown. Looks like he's involved in a big pot.
I just took a bad beat for 50,000, which would have guaranteed me a seat in the final tonight. One of the Ukrainians, he wanted to gamble with a lot of chips, and he had to hit 2 hearts. He hit them both. Looking at it.
How do you feel?
Sick. Absolutely sick.
Taking it well, I think.
We need a bit of luck. Maybe we'll get it. We're a big underdog at the moment. A couple of hands could turn it around.
You know, David Meyer talking about Scotland, their lack of chips. I think that they might be low on chips, but they're high on effort with the laundry, Gary. Different colour shirts for each day. I think it really is. It reflects the kind of seriousness that they've taken to this tournament. Done very well, and they don't smell.
And here we join the action with 2 tables left. Johanna Pusing gone all in, Vlad gone all in, David McGeegee's also gone all in, and Kenlan has decided to gamble and knock them all out. He's looking pretty confident right now. And at the end of all that, Johanna Pusing survived, but the other 2 went. There goes Sergei Ulprigin from the Baltic States. He was out in 10th. And with just 1 person to go before the final, for a while there, it was looking like it was going to be Alexander Bukovsky from Team Ukraine. But he retook his seat after managing to survive a nasty all-in. But meanwhile, on the other table, his teammate, Vladimir Shemelev, has gone all in. And he's up against the man he put a nasty beat on earlier on, Mr. Murray Brown. So Murray Brown looking for revenge, offering up a quick prayer there. And it's answered, and Vladimir's going to be our 9th place finisher, and that means we're going to have a final.
I hit a couple of hands, balanced out for the couple that I lost, I guess. That's poker. I was under pressure, I needed chips. I was dealt high card a few times. I kept raising, trying to steal the antes. The antes were quite big, which I managed to do a few times. I got caught once or twice, but most of the time I was stealing the antes and building chips up. And he got me back in the game.
I want 2 middle pin cards, 5, 6. As I said earlier on, as long as I hold on to my chips, there are chances. But of course, we've got lots of very, very good players.
When I was asked who I thought the main opposition was, I said the Russians have got a strong team, but the Swedes and the Finns, everybody in the poker world, especially in Europe, respect them immensely. They're really strong competitors. There must be nothing else to do there, I guess. I don't know.
And this is how the points work. First gets 50, second gets 44, third gets 40, fourth gets 36, fifth 32, sixth 28, seventh 24, eighth 20, and if you come 9th down to 16th, you get 16 down to 2. And here's the faces that made it through to the final. Bill Valbeck from Finland. Ken Leonard, team captain for Sweden.
Murray Brown, inimitable Murray Brown from England. Johan Fissing, Finland.
Mikael Thurit from Sweden.
Youngest player in the tournament, I think.
And Alexander Ubakovsky from the Ukraine.
One of the great English poker players, Lali Kajuria. And last but not least, Kasperi Pikkakangas from Finland. Now, I noticed when the pictures came up that the picture opposite Valbeck, the lad was wearing earphones. Gary, is that allowed?
Yeah, a lot of players actually like to wear earphones. It just helps them concentrate and remain focused, especially for long tournaments where you've got people shouting and screaming all around you. It kind of keeps you in the zone, so to speak. As you heard explained by Dave Courclough earlier on, 7-card stud. You get 2 private cards face down. Like the 7-3 there.
I should tell the viewers at home that the card with the ring around it is your up card.
Just saw a nice hand there for Murray Brown. Pocket jacks in the hole. He's going to be on his teammate, Lali Kajuria.
He's got pocket 9s.
To open, he makes it 6,000 to play. Because he has the high card. He's got the 4 spring in. Round to Murray now.
12. The other player in the pot.
He doubles the bet.
Looking across at Lally.
Murray Brown from England. Finalist last night.
Just got to get through.
Look, it's just the 2 Englishmen now. Well, I think we'll just see Lally throw his hand in.
Yeah, he shouldn't really want to mix it up with his teammate. And I think we can tell by Murray's face there, he's not very happy. Because Lally's going to call him. So there'll be no more betting and these boys will see all of the remaining cards.
We'll see if they got this right.
I don't think Murray will be pleased about that.
No. look at
Finland
that.
there, recognising the error of somebody's ways.
Lally not used to laying hands down. Still winning with the pocket jacks. Murray. No improvement there.
Well done, boys.
So Murray's going to win it anyway. So join us after the break and see if the English boys can give the Finnish anything else to laugh about.
And welcome back to the final table.
Yeah, the 7-card stud, day 2. And after the first hand before the break, we saw the English making a bit of a team tactical error by competing against each other for the chips. I don't think we'll be seeing Murray Brown joining straight in after the break with 3-4-10.
Suited ace there for the youngster.
Pair of 7s for Alexander Ubakovsky.
11.
Who?
11.
The man with all his chips in the middle. So Lally not playing.
Having said that, of course, Murray Brown's face should be familiar to all.
Looks like he's going to get away with this one. Johanna having a quick squeeze. She can't find anything to go with her queen. And it's back to Mikael. Got an ace in the hole, but not much else. So he releases and Alexander picks that one up. And the chips go to Team Ukraine and Alexander Ubakovsky. Of course, the big difference between 7-card stud and Hold'em, which we saw yesterday, is the nature of how the action gets started here.
Belly cam there.
Yes, with Hold'em, you actually have 2 blinds and the action starts straight after the blinds. In 7-card stud, everyone puts up a running ante, which in this case is 1,000 to play. and then the low card is actually going to bring the action in, and then everyone will act after that. On to the next hand. Let's use this as an example. Here we have Ken Leonard with a 5-up card and Jack King. Murray Brown, Ace Queen in the hole with a 4-up. And Johanna Pusing, very nice hand there. Pair of queens with a king. Mikhail not playable.
The last hand at this level, players.
As you can hear in the background, Keith Bendigo-Sloan just mentioning the running antes are going to go up after this hand.
Well, that'll please somebody. Surely one ace disappearing from the game.
As long as you don't have aces in the hole, yeah,
Well,
it's
look
a
at
good card.
Murray, you see, ace and king hidden. Surely that's not a bad hand, is it?
Well, you kind of want at least a pair to be bringing it in with. If you've got 3 big cards, it's a good thing. And oh, looks like Michael's putting the pressure on with the king, representing a pair of kings. Trying to say, I've got at least one more king in the hole.
And Murray just didn't fancy doing that.
Nope, he's deciding to play a little bit more cautious. Put the pressure on.
Belly cam. Well, he took the money, Thoritz.
Yes, he did, showing that he's not afraid to put his chips in with no hand. And Vili didn't want to play. It's the advantage of having a powerful up card. See, action here being brought in with the deuce.
1000, a low card. Early Kajan.
Lally there. The man with the deuce, ace-7 in the hole. Not much there for Vili either. 3 very big cards there for Murray Brown. Ace, King, Jack. Still no pair though.
7,000.
But if no one else wants to raise it, he might try and take the chips off his teammate.
3 Finnish players on the final table quite a performance.
That's a mighty big raise with the
Murray
Jack.
Brown from England over the top.
He's kind of hoping he doesn't
Jack.
walk in with to Johanna here with a pair of kings. And no,
25
she's
to go.
decided to muck. That's going to be music to Murray's ears.
2,000.
Alexander recognises the value and goes all in for his final 2,000.
Alexander Ubakovsky's all in for his last 2,000
Pair of 4s.
with a pair of 4s.
Kasperi.
Kasperi Pitkakangas there with a pair of jacks. He re-raised the original bring in,
This could be the biggest crash of the night.
and Murray Brown stuck it back up him. So now the decision
Blue chips are worth 5,000.
on Kasperi
yellows
Pitkakangas,
1,000,
and he's decided to lay it
500,
down.
2 to 5.
With a pair of jacks.
Yeah, he was going to be very upset when he sees Murray's hand. Ace King Jack against double 4-5.
Pair of 4s. No improvement. No
7,
improvement.
4. Murray will be pleased that that one didn't go to Alexander
2
Ubakovsky.
pairs.
He's got 7s and 4s now. That's probably going to be good enough to survive. Jack's given a pair of 4s, so now 9, Jack, King or Ace for Murray on the end's going to be good.
Pair up.
Nope, the deuce is no good. 7s and 4s hold up.
Goes through. He's got chips again now, young Alexander.
And Kasperi's a bit upset that he's managed to pass the pocket jacks there.
Well, you know what they say, Gary? That's poker.
Yes. Sigh of relief for Ubakovsky and Team Ukraine. One thing you saw there is Murray's only actually ended up gambling with 2,000 of his own chips. And he actually won a side pot against Kasperi Pitkakangas. So that was pretty well a free roll.
Wait till you see 7 cards stud high low.
So he didn't hurt himself in making that particular play, as it happens.
Yeah, but
Four's bringing for Mikhail. With his 4 up and 3 king in the hole. Ubakovsky mucks the 9. Lally the queen. After just being bluffed out by Murray, Kasperi decides to gamble again.
base 8,000.
This time he's got a pair of 8s with the king kicker. Murray doesn't want to try it twice in a row. I don't think that's the hand. Johanna's going to do the last of her
Bit
chips.
of bluffing
Oh.
going on here.
Ah, she's going to put a small raise in against her
9.
teammate.
1,500.
Could be good team tactics
Yeah,
here.
just shifting those chips across, really, isn't she?
Yeah, it's going to force the teammate to pass. So she actually picks up the chips. Very good team play from Johanna. Assuming, of course, that the teammate read the script, which he did. And she wins a nice pot. Very, very good opportunity there taken by Johanna. Currently one of the few players that's actually won points for her team on both days. And the highest chip position for any of the players from Team Finland. Doing a lot better than her husband, the team captain Aki, who's currently got 0 points for his team.
Rubbish then.
Okay, with ace king in the hole. Lally with again, with the force bring in, with the deuce. Oh, he's got ace 4 in the hole.
Low-carded again, it's about 5 times in 9 hands, although he's been low-carded after he dumped off 6,000 of his chips to Murray. Here's Murray's chance to give him some chips back now. What will Murray do, I wonder?
Murray round with
Murray's
the 7
not
up,
sure.
up against his teammate.
I've noticed, you know, with Vila, the Finnish lad, he's had the highest up cards for the last 4 hands, and he hasn't played one of them.
Looks like his game plan's to sit back and play quite tight. Wait for a few players to get knocked out. Ace king in the hole. No one else has took a pop at Lally's force bring in yet, so he decides to. He makes it 12,000 to play. Ubergovsky says no.
And Lally's all in. Lally from
Lally
England's
decides
made the move.
it's time to gamble. He hasn't got many chips, Lally, only 5,500. He's behind at the moment.
He's got an ace there, though.
But he's still got an ace. And he's not up against a pair, so he's got every chance. Now he's picked up a straight draw. 5 would be a good card for Lally here. At the moment, still no one with any pair. That's a pair of 4s for Lally. He's in front. Awful lot of cards against him. 9 to an ace would be bad. And no, he's managed to survive. Good stuff there, Lally.
Well done, Lally.
Spotted he had to gamble, and this was the time. And that could hurt Mikhail just a little bit. Got a little bit lucky, Lally. But you do need that in poker.
What do you think about that, Lally?
You're going to see the ace king win, then.
It happens, as usual.
Very nearly did.
There we go.
Once again. Force bring in for Lally. And Leonard, 3 reasonable sized cards. 9, 10,
Just
queen.
straight action there, I think.
It's made it 5,000 to play.
Here he comes again. Lucky Michael from Sweden.
Michael thought it's re-raises.
16,000.
You're not sure what's happening here.
Ken Leonard's fellow teammate, hoping to get the opportunity to get some chips passed to him. And that's what happens.
Picked up a few thousand.
I misread my hand or something.
And that hand went down just as they'd practiced in training.
Good bit of chip passing there from Team Sweden.
Of course, the Swedish team were the winners of this competition last year, and it's very easy to see why. They've got their teamwork and their strategy working very, very similar to the English.
Big laugh there in the auditorium. That's Keith Bendigo. Tournament referees referring to Lally and Murray's cock-up earlier on, comparing it to the Swedes. Superb team play. Good joke, Keith. Very funny.
Every chance Lucky will bet that 12,000. Every chance he gets.
Belly count.
Although it's a straight draw, the big problem with that is it's 3 low cards and 7 cards stood if you actually want to play for these kind of hands. It's much better to have 3 big cards. Give yourself a chance to win it with hitting a pair.
Along the way.
8 plus 6
Double 9 deuce for Lally.
queen plus.
Durch technique, after you say that.
Force bring in
bringing
was actually
Durch
another
technique.
deuce earlier on in the hand. It's been raised.
8,000 6 plus. 8,000.
That's Michael's hand, ace-9 deuce. Well, he's got pocket threes in the hole, but he's got a big card showing, so he might think about re-raising this to represent pocket queens. Oh, sorry, a pair of queens.
I'm sweating, need a glass, clean the glass now.
He decides to muck it, not wanting to risk his new chips that early. Don't think Kaspery's going to play that one.
Good move.
He mucks, as does Ville. And Mikhail picks up the pot. So the rest of the team showing Team England how to do it. See if they've learnt anything and join us after the break.
And welcome back, where we've just had a streaker pass through the Italian club, but things have settled down now. It was hilarious.
So still no one knocked out yet. 8 players left at the final of the 7-card stud. Not much there for Alexander, apart from the deuce of diamonds is going to be the force bringing card. And there he goes, 1,500 to play. Kaspery Pitkakangas with the king showing, puts in a big raise. And that's why he's got another one in the hole.
I guess that force bringing can be a bit of a pain in the latter stages when there's just 3 at the table and the ante's high.
It means it's costing you twice as much as the other players because it's usually the same amount as the running ante. So, yes, it can whittle away your chips very quickly for force to bring it in every time. But back to the action. Here's Mikhail with a decision to make. He decides to give Kaspery the benefit of the doubt with the pocket kings, with a pair of kings, and lets him have it. Lubikovsky looks very cheery, as does Mikhail.
Well, he actually looks like he's playing for Russia or the Baltic States, but he's not. He's Ukrainian. He's just got a white jumper on.
Yeah. I think he did it to confuse the people from the Baltic States. Murray Brown with the deuce of hearts means he's going to have to bring it in.
15. 9 plus 8.
You can actually bring it in for anything from the minimum, which is 1,500, up to the size of the pot. Obviously, oof, nice hand there for Ubakovsky. He's just moved the last of his chips in. That's 7,500.
Ace plus.
I don't think Murray can afford to call the other 6,000 with this filth.
I wouldn't play that hand. I'd shoot it.
Put it out of its misery. Ubakovsky picks up the pot.
He needed that, I think.
Yes, he was getting desperately low. But because of all the chips in there from the running ante, there's actually quite a lot to pick up. So that puts him right back in it.
Belly cam.
Yes, it was much more fun inserting the belly cams into the female dealers rather than the man we've got at the moment. But fortunately, I didn't have that job.
2 plus.
Another Englishman bringing it in. It's Lally again, 1,500. 10,000 from Ken Leonard. Creatively with 5-7 queen.
6 plus. 7 plus.
Not much of a hand. He's just on a stone cold bluff.
Do it every time.
He's going to play his identity card. See, the advantage of the Omaha game is you don't get to look up Lally's nose. She's got 4 cards on the glass, obviously.
Yes, they are the under-table cams, not the up-the-nose cams. Ken Leonard picks that one up with a steal.
Belly cam.
He just raised with a hand very similar to that.
15. 4,000.
had the force bring in this time with the 5 up. Murray's raised him with a 9. Mikhail looking like he wants a deep reach. That's why he's got 3 hearts. Makes it 15,000 to play. And Lally with the decision by the looks of things. And that's why he's got a pair of jacks.
But does he want to stay there and risk upsetting Murray?
The problem of what's happened here is Murray's opened.
He might have a pair of kings there.
Oh, he's decided to gamble. And Murray won't be too upset this time as he didn't actually have a genuine hand. Lally's out in front with the pocket jacks and he's been called. And they're on the backs. It's Mikhail with 3 hearts up against the pair of jacks of Lally Kajuria. Lally needs to win this, I think, to stay in. Still looking good. Doesn't want to see a king for Mikhail. Now he's made aces and jacks. Just a 3's going to save Mikhail. Nope, that's no good. Lally wins this one with aces and jacks.
Well done, Lally. Very good.
And that's going to have really, really crippled Mikhail. He's under pressure now.
Murray's saying, now look at the teamwork.
He managed to suck Mikhail into a re-raise. While his teammate was sitting behind him with a big hand.
There he is, he's on camera now. Well, they're all over me. What he knows about poker, you could write
Pink
on but he's
are worth 500. The orange ones are worth 1,000. So although it looks like Mikhail's actually still got quite a lot, because they are only worth 500, the pink ones, he is starting to feel the pinch a bit. So he's going to have to find a hand sometime soon. Force bring in for Ken. 1,500. Murray Brown keeps out the way, as does Johanna. Nothing from Mikhail. Alexander Bukovsky from Team Ukraine decides to move all in with his pair of 9s.
16,500.
Scares off Lally.
16,500.
Goes Kasperi. It's back round to Ken Leonard. Does he want to do the dirty job of trying to knock out Alexander Bukovsky? He does have quite a lot of chips, Ken.
15,000 back to Ken Leonard, please, but he lays it.
He decides not to bother. And the chips go across to Team Ukraine. And Alexander Bukovsky survives to fight another day.
He gets a round of applause.
The dark blue chips in front of Ken Leonard there are actually worth 5,000 each, so although it doesn't look like he has many more chips than some of the others, he actually has quite a lot. Bukovsky's still stacking his. On to the next hand.
Murray's searching for something.
Wants to see how how the chips are spread with the couple on his left. Running antes have gone up. It's 2,000 around and 2,000 to bring in. Murray Brown with pocket pair of 8s. They're concealed and no one else suspects that's the hand he's got. Unless they're a very good reader. He flat calls, doesn't want to put the pressure on.
Risk having their account closed at party.
It's possible he's leaving it open for Lally to raise it, and that's what's happened.
Next level, yes. 2,000 ante, next hand.
A little bit of teamwork eventually from Team England.
And he's go to 2,000.
Lally picks up the pot. A long time coming, but the English finally got with the programme. It's started playing together instead of fighting against each other. So straight on to the next hand. And the English boy's looking pretty good now.
A heavy breather back we go.
Not a lot there for Ken. And he has to bring it in for 2,000. Mikhail Thuritz with an ace up. And he's looking for a hand to gamble with, probably. If it gets past to him, he might decide to represent the aces. Yeah, that's consistent with the way he's played the rest of this final.
10,500 plus.
As the dealer says, it's 10,500 to play.
10,500.
Keith Sloan just changing up all of the 500s. And Caspary decides to take him on with 10s.
17,500 to win.
And he's in good shape. It's Team Sweden with Mikhail with the ace high against the 10s of Caspary. And Mikhail needs to win this, or he's going to be our first man out. Let's see if he can find an ace. Nope, but he has picked up queens as well. That's the ace he wanted to catch. No help for either player there. 10s and 8s. Oh, but he's managed to catch an ace, but a moment too late. Needs to make 2 pair on the river or better, or he's going to be out. And he doesn't. Unlucky Mikhail. Not bad for your first time playing 7-card stud. And he's going to be our 8th place finisher.
I went out now, 8th place, so we got 20 points. It's okay.
20 points, very helpful.
There he goes, just leaving. Straight back into the action, 7 players left. Still all to play for. Oh, there's a thief just run off with some of the 500 chips. Don't worry, it's tournament director Keith Sloan. Just changing them up, making it easier for the dealer. Doesn't want to have to be counting out 40, 50 chips every time they get thrown in the middle.
12,000.
No, Velbeck's got a pair of 3s.
And he's instantly been raised by Ken Leonard with the king up. He's made it 12,000 to play.
8 plus.
And he's got an ace-9 in the hole. Lally with a jack up and pocket 6s in the hole. Does he want to gamble with Ken Leonard? And Albuquerque getting told off by Lally for not putting his cards on the glass. As Albuquerque decides whether he wants to play. He is low on chips, he's got to find a hand to gamble. Does he think Ken Leonard might be at it and not actually have the king in the hole that he's representing?
Well, I can tell you, Gary, having seen the cards, I can honestly say he hasn't. But Lally doesn't believe that.
Bukowski's called. Not an awful lot left for him to play with. He's probably calling and hoping not to see a king hit Ken Leonard's side of the board. And he's happy with Ken Leonard checking.
12,500.
He's moved the last of his chips in. Ken Leonard calls, and we're going to have a showdown. And Ken's not going to be happy with what he sees, because already Alexander Ubakovsky's made 2 pair. So he's going to have to improve a lot to catch up with him. It's 10s and 9s versus no pair, and that jack seals Ken Leonard's fate. And Alexander Ubakovsky's going to double up. Good news for Team Ukraine, bad news for Team Sweden. They just lost one of their players out in 8th. With Mikhail Thuritz. Ken Leonard now just gone back 25,000. And pretty soon he's going to start feeling the pinch. So he doesn't look very happy. Dominated day 1, Team Sweden. Not quite going as according to plan on day 2. But still, nothing to start panicking about yet. to the next hand. I think Ubakovsky's going to like that one as much as he did the last hand. He's got the force bring in for 2,000. And Vile decides to gamble. Ace up.
Well, he must be very low in chips.
18,500 there.
See?
But that isn't actually an awful lot when it's costing you 2,000 a hand just to sit there and see your cards. Looks like Murray's got a decision. He's got pocket sixes. He decides not to gamble with that. Queen mucks. And Ubakovsky mucks as well. And the patience of Vile is rewarded as he picks up the blinds.
Join us after this break.
And welcome back to the Partypoker.com European Nations Poker Challenge. Just to recap on the action so far, after some interesting tactical play from the English team at the very start of the final, they soon settled in, and then we lost our first player, which was Mikhail Thuritz. He decided to gamble with Kasperi Pitkakangas, and when the cards had fallen, he was our 8th place finisher. So we join the action with 7 players left.
Oh, look at that.
Very
Fellini.
arty shot.
Fellini. Well, it's actually Doolally Lally, but Fellini-like shot.
3 players still in there from Team Finland, having a very good day.
2 from England.
Also having a good day. 1 remaining Swede, and 1 from Team Ukraine. Speaking of Team Ukraine, there he is, 689 of hearts. Lally with an ace showing and a king in the hole. Raise there from Murray. Makes it 14,000 to play. Johanna with a pair of 5s. And not many chips. She decides to gamble. She puts in her 8,000. And now, does Alexander Ubakovsky want to gamble with his 689 of hearts? He's got the chips now.
$8,000. The final chips.
I think that's worth a look, don't you?
Might be worth calling the 14 and seeing if he can catch something. He can afford to call 14 and leave it behind here. If he doesn't catch a good card on the card 4.
Scary thought.
No, he's not
But
having
no.
it.
He's going to conserve his chips. It's about hanging on this game.
Now, the 2 English lads are still in here, so this could be an absolute masterpiece of team playing here. A master class, I should say.
They haven't exactly done a great deal of good team play so far today. But they have managed to get into the groove a little. And that's what they've got to beat so far. It's a pair of 5s. Queen kicker.
Remember, he's got a big audience at home.
Time.
1 minute.
As you could hear
1
that,
minute time clock,
Johanna
place
Pussing,
time.
not happy with Lally taking too long to make its decision. She's asked for a clock to be put on him, which means he has 1 minute to act.
Murray Brown, who just about went out the back
Kicked
of
him
his
into
chair
action,
when
and he
heard
decides
that.
to call. Puts the 14,000 in there. And it's going to be the 2 boys from England trying to knock out the lovely lady from Finland. The English boys obviously aren't going to bet it against each other, so it's on the backs. And we're going to get to see all 7 cards for each player. Pair of 5 still in front. Straight draw there for Murray. Pair of 4s for Lally. Still in front, the pair of 5s. Needs some improvement.
Triple her up or not, we'll find out in a moment.
Murray doesn't get any help.
Has she been tripled up?
Johanna survives, and yes, she gets it. The boys from Team England couldn't knock her out. And a lovely smile. Stays in and triples up. Good result there for Team Finland.
I think Murray suspected that Lally had a better hand than he did.
Murray definitely knew he didn't have the best hand with the King 10-4. But he lost 14,000 in the pot. Lally got something back. some of the chips were actually from Murray, but on with the next hand. 2 nines in the hole for Gasperi. Bukovski's open for 2. Lalley's made a small raise with the king showing. It's up to Gasperi. Does he want to gamble with the pocket nines? He's raised. He's gone all in.
34,000.
Puts the pressure on the rest of them. Well, he looks like he's got a decision with his 4. Nope. Just checking his chip position. It's not as good as it once was. It's just up to Lally now. He's put 6,000 in.
I think he'll go with him.
I think it's probably too much for him. He doesn't actually have much in the hole here. He does have a tendency to gamble a little, our Lally.
Yep.
He didn't get the nickname of Doolally for nothing. If he does decide to gamble, can't wait to see Murray's face when he turns over his cards. Murray's a little bit more of a conservative player than Lally, so clash of styles between these two English boys.
Time.
1 minute.
Once again, Lally having the clock put on him.
It's part of the strategy. Of course, he's playing against Gasperi.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, come on, Lally, play it, please.
Keith wants to see you gamble.
I do. No, he's not going to do it. What?
He decides to muck. Kangas picks up the pot.
Some top chip fiddling from the Finnish lad.
Thank you. Please keep the cards nice and centre and superb. Give this man an hoppy badge.
3 to bring it in from Uberkovsky. And Murray Brown finally found a hand with a pair of 6s. Uberkovsky's got a pair.
Murray Brown from England's made another move.
Gasperi's got half a hand,
Got to get past.
but he's mucked. Murray Brown's decided to raise, put the pressure on the opener. A pair of 3s. Does Uberkovsky want to gamble with him?
Alexander from Ukraine.
He knows it's going to cost him another 14,000.
Said
Yep,
something, looks like we've got a hand.
he's going to gamble. Murray Brown's going to be all in. The English team captain needs to win this one to survive.
4,000 apiece. And another
It's on the backs, and it's gambling time for Murray Brown.
62,000 in the pot. Bring him in.
He's got the best hand going in, but that's not always what ends up winning it. No help there for Uberkovsky. That's a good card for Murray. He's got kings and 6s now. Just a 3 is going to be a bad card for him. No help there.
Needs to catch a 3.
And no 3. And Murray Brown doubles up.
$60,000 pot to the Englishman.
With kings and 6s, and he breathes a sigh of relief.
Rally some of those chips a bit later.
And a little grin.
I need some.
Nice hand for Murray. And not quite so much of a grin there for Uberkovsky. And now he's back under pressure.
The organiser of this tournament, this is his 3rd year running that he's put together, the European Nations Poker Challenge, and of course this year our
Don't
sponsor,
see those sweaters
Partypoker.com,
very often now in
bringing
the
this
West.
tournament to you.
On that note, on to the next hand. Nice hand there for Vile. At the other end of the spectrum, not much there for Ken.
Ooh.
Playable hand here for Murray, and he's got the 4s bringing as well. Wow. The English boys both got playable hands, and they're definitely going to walk into the pair of kings.
Oh dear.
Lally's raised it up. Bet the pot. That means he's probably going to have to gamble. when Vile goes all in.
20,000 to go with a jack heart showing. And he's run into Willy Welbeck from Finland.
27,000.
Who's raised and put himself all in for 27,000. Murray shows a deuce of spades. Wonder what he's
Just
got
another
under.
7,000 to Lally. So he's definitely going to play. The question is, does Murray want to gamble with him as well, with the ace, deuce, three of spades?
The camera being on him. We'll find out in a moment.
Well, he said earlier on that he's not an outrageous gambler. But
No.
tighter.
Okay,
He's only
can
put
it be
2,000 and he
won
decides to release for the other
Murray
25.
past that hand, we'll see it.
Lally, on the other hand,
Big hand.
will happily take him
Lally
on with the
going
other
to do?
7,000.
Lally is calling this bet. Here we go.
Track the cards in the middle, on the backs. And let's see if Lally can improve.
$69,000 in the pot.
Pair of kings with an 8 up
$69,000
against
in
a
the
pair of
pot.
jacks with a 4.
Pair of jacks versus a pair of kings.
He's glad he hit the king and not the other way round.
Lally needs
No
some
help with the 10.
behind.
Still a pair of kings out in front.
The man from England.
Kings and 7s there for Vile. He's going to be difficult to beat, just a jack. No, no good. And the final nail in the coffin, he makes kings full of 7s and Vile doubles up. And the finish looking very strong at the moment.
And he certainly knows how to take him off his teammate down there, so I won't be too
So
worried.
3 from Team Finland still in, 2 from the English, a Ukrainian and the Swedish Ken Leonard.
7 card stud.
Straight on to the next hand.
Yes, the professional players.
And Lally with the 2,000 bring in.
The amateur poker player,
And Ken Leonard's gone all in
will have played.
with the ace,
Here he
queen,
comes again.
6.
What's he doing? He's
His last
loading up both
20,000.
barrels here. He's got him off the felt. He's moved him in. Murray Brown.
Murray Brown's moved all in with a pair of jacks. He's decided to try and knock him out.
Over the top of a $20,000 bet.
And the others can't get out of the pot quick enough. I don't think Lally's going to take him on with the hand he had. So it's going to be heads up, Ken Leonard versus Murray Brown.
This will be the biggest pot of the night.
This is going to be a very large pot.
And it's Murray Brown from England.
The last of the
against
Swedish
Ken
team,
Leonard from Sweden.
Ken Leonard and their
Ken
captain
shows ace, queen,
versus the
6.
English captain, Murray
And
Brown.
Murray shows a pair of jacks, 2 diamonds. The diamond
So everyone
draws
else
no
probably
degree.
rooting for Murray Brown after Sweden had a fantastic first date.
Of course,
Still out in front, the pair of
providing the other
jacks.
player doesn't hit the diamonds.
No improvement for either player.
Goes in front.
Ken Leonard desperately needs to find something.
Jacks are still
Oh,
there.
and that 7
Jacks
gives
over
Murray
and
Brown
out.
jacks and 7s.
Jacks over.
And that's
We'll
the
get
end
him
of
over
Ken
the line.
Leonard.
We lose
Doesn't
Ken
matter what
Leonard
he
from
finds on the
Sweden.
end.
7th place.
Friendly handshake. Did his team proud, and he's going to be our 7th place finisher.
Well, you saw him in action last night. He was collecting scalps last night. He's doing exactly the same tonight. His name's Murray Brown.
Well, if the game is to finish now, Gary, England would pick up at least 6th and 5th position.
Yes.
How many points would that be?
That'd actually give them 60 points if they went out now. Let's hope that doesn't happen, though. And straight on to the next hand. Still 3 from Finland, 2 from England, and the last remaining Ukrainian. Murray Brown to bring it in with his 3.
Murray Brown's low card is 3
Johanna
diamonds.
Pusing
2,000 to go. He puts it
licks her lips.
in an instant.
I think she might be prepared to gamble this one. No, she decides not
Pot
to.
limit. They can bet whatever's in that pot anytime they like. And here he comes.
Now, those really are
The
pocket
partner
sevens.
from England.
Yes.
Come out.
And
He's
to
trying
raise
bring
here from
himself all
Lally.
in here, but he's not permitted. He's bet 1,000 more than the maximum raise permissible.
He's raised the pot.
It's a brave bet
Caspary
because he's got
with
2
pocket
overcards
7s.
behind him.
He's got to figure he's in front of
And,
Lally here.
Just what he didn't want to see happen has happened.
And he's moved all in.
Caspary from Finland has moved over the
And
top.
that's going to scare Lally. But he's only got 1,000 left, so he doesn't have a lot of choices. Lally's going to have to gamble and hope to get lucky. The dealer just making sure he does want to put his last 1,000 in. So, Lally needs to get lucky here.
No, he actually he did shout, I need a 6.
He caught it. He's got the 6. He's managed to call it in. Lucky do Lally Lally.
I mean that it's only going to get him into trouble.
So, only a 7 really is going to put him in trouble. Not so far. Oh, no 7. So, do Lally Lally doubles up.
Give his wife a wave at home because
Gets
he's back
nice
in
and
this
lucky
tonight.
there. And look at that little cheeky grin from Lally.
Never say die.
A knowing smile from Murray.
You've seen it all before from Lally.
You don't have to be good so long as you're lucky. And there he is. Lucky Lally.
So Lally doubles up. Can he keep it up? Find out by rejoining us after the break.
And welcome back to the Partypoker.com European Nations Poker Challenge. Just to recap the action so far. First out, the youngest player in the tournament, Mikhail Thuritz, went out in 8th place. He was closely followed by his teammate and team captain, Ken Leonard, as he clashed with the English team captain, Murray Brown. And the English team look continued shortly after, when Lucky Doolally Lally decided to get with his pocket sixes. And after making the devil 3 sixes, he survived. And that's where we rejoin the action.
The devil, that's the mark of the devil, Gary, 3 sixes.
Yes, that's correct, Keith, yes.
Just checking.
The number of the beast. And Devilfish's favourite hand.
Is it?
Yeah, 3 sixes, yeah. There it's the devil. And Lally with 3 hearts. And the king showing. I think we'll see him showing a little bit of strength with that hand, yes. He's raised up the 2004 Spring in a Ville. Let's see if he's got anything he wants to play with. Pair of 3s. It's not that strong, and he knows even if Lally doesn't have the kings, he's going to have every opportunity to improve against the pair of 3s. Just getting a quick chip count while he decides. The way he's played this final so far, I think we'll see him release this. He's been quite cautious.
He'd be mad to play this. I mean, he'd be bored. He must be bored.
He's decided to gamble. Wow. Bit of a resigned look on his face. This is going to be an absolute monster pot. Whoever wins this will be a big chip leader. He's in front, but I don't know how much he likes it. I'm a bit surprised about this. He's played a very cautious game so far, Ville, and he's walked into 4 hearts. Pair of kings and 4 hearts for Lally. He's now very, very strong. Still up against just pocket 3s. That's 3 kings. That's it. It's all over.
Well,
Lally Kajoria.
Why did he play that hand, Gary?
I am surprised he decided to gamble with that, especially the way he's played so far. If he's got an ace with his pair of 3s, which means if he catches the ace, he can make aces up.
But, you know, I mean, we were saying earlier on, he was ditching very, very good up cards his first card.
I know, I'm very surprised he decided to play that. He's now very much under pressure.
Murray's hit pocket 10s.
Lally with an ace-queen in the hole.
Ace pass. All in. 7.
Under pressure, decides to gamble now. Ville's gone all in. Murray Brown calls. Hoping his pocket 10s are good. In fact, he's decided to protect them with a re-raise.
28.
He'll be happy to see the king of Johanna passed.
Okay.
And he knows he's not going to get Lally calling him, although I said that earlier on. The English team have kind of not got all of their team signs worked out yet.
Apart from that one. Belly count.
That's the what the hell were you thinking about look. Oh, 10s and 6s straight away from Murray. He's going to be difficult to beat now. A 10 will give Ville a straight. But of course we can see 2 of them in front of Murray. Unless it's a 10, no, it's no good. And Ville's already exited the building. He knew it was on him.
I'd like to hear what he's got to say about this.
Well, bit today and there's 2 more days left, so I think we're still fighting for it.
Apart from you, love.
So, Lally stacking his chips.
Belly count.
Still in fantastic shape. I think you're obsessed with that belly cam, Keith.
That's so unique. Murray Brown pocket kings.
Oof, it's a nice hand for Murray.
6 pass.
4 springing from the 4 of hearts. And he's very low in chips, Obukovsky. So he might feel like he has to gamble. And he doesn't have much of a hand. And we nearly slipped putting his chips across the line. Let's see if Obukovsky wants to gamble with what he's got left. It's not much, but he does know He's put 3,000 in. It's going to cost him 3,000 the next hand, no matter what. Really feeling the pinch. The last boy from Ukraine. Nope, he decides to muck.
There he is, the boy from
Murray
England.
Brown
Murray
picks up a
Brown.
nice little pot.
The license with the truth, the boy from England. But Murray Brown from England takes down another pot.
They're looking very strong now, the English boys. From the Finns being in control, it's now the English. Kasperi doesn't look very happy. I think he's just desperately trying to outlast Uberkovsky. And in the meantime, the English boys are picking up the chips. Force bring in there for Johanna. Alexander decides to gamble, I think, with what he's got left. Yeah, he's all in for 6,000.
I wonder if Murray will go chasing a straight. No, of course he won't. I know how he plays, that's a joke.
Johanna considers it her duty to gamble against Uberkovsky. Even though she's got absolute filth, she'd only already put 3,000 in. Oh, she's caught a 4 straight away. So she's in front now with a pair of 4s. Uberkovsky needing to improve. And he does. He makes a pair of 9s. So now it's back to... Oh, there she goes. 7s and 4s. Even before I can say it. She makes 2 pairs. And Uberkovsky catches a king on the river to survive with kings and 9s. And Johanna nearly managed to knock him out. But he played his get out of jail free card by catching a king on the end to make kings and 9s. So Uberkovsky survives. And that puts the pressure on Pitkick Angus, who's now the man without the chips.
And I think a bit of pressure on that young lady.
Yeah, she's gone down as well.
Stop that.
Pair of 10s for Murray. And Johanna there with a pair of 4s.
Small pair.
Not much for Kasperi. So he's not going to be tempted to try and knock out Johanna.
Lally with a very small pair too.
She's moved in.
With who?
Hopefully her husband. And she's found Uberkovsky, who's called. So's Lally. She's going to have to run the gauntlet here. It's 2 people wanting to gamble with her. I think Murray's going to as well. So, Johanna in all sorts of trouble here. Murray just asking to see Uberkovsky's chips, trying to decide whether to raise it or not. Thinks he might be in front with his pair of 10s, and I don't blame him. Yep, he's raising it.
Also, he's backed up with Lally having a very high up card there with the king. Makes him feel safe, I think.
Yeah, possibly. But Uberkovsky puts his chips straight in. So now Lally's got a decision. Does he want to play for another 17,000? I think he'll be tempted. They could knock 2 people out in one go here, Lally. And in Murray, if one of them wins. No, he mucks. Possibly another tactical error there from the English team. I think he probably should have played there, Lally. Every chance to knock 2 players out. There's not going to be any betting. He'd have got another 4 cards for the 17,000. But here's the action. Murray's caught a deuce. He's gone in front with 10s and deuces. 4s and 3s for Johanna. Looking like the man to beat at the moment, Murray. No improvement for Uberkovsky. And Murray does it. He knocks 2 out in one go.
I bet Lally's pleased.
So Lally's happy he passed that one, yeah. And Murray Brown knocks out 2, and let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, I think so. I think it went well, though we could have been a bit more luckier, but it was okay. We got the most points today, I guess.
Well, I don't think she'll be as upset as Uberkovsky. I think he thought he might have taken that last hand.
Yeah, he was actually in front going in, so he's going to be a little bit disappointed.
Should we have a look at these points, Gary? Because I think now that there's 3 players, we're guaranteed 2nd and 3rd. How many points does that give England?
That'll give England 84, which is very nice. done themselves proud.
Pick Kangas there, 2 9s. King in the hole.
He's gone all in for 6,000. The two English are going to be ganging up against him, try and knock him out. We could be on for an English 1-2 here. At the moment, the pair of 9s still in front.
A jack, whatever, 6 is no good. With a jack, oh, trip 9s.
3 9s.
Pair of 6s for Lally.
3 9s.
But the 3 9s still well out in front. And it's too late. None of the English boys can actually knock him out now. So the 3 9s takes it. And Pitkick Angus, the final thorn in the English side, stays in. He's going to make it as difficult as possible for these two boys to get an English 1-2.
But a very good day for the English.
Yeah, whatever happens now, they could get 84, they could get 90, or they could get 94. It's not a great deal of difference between the three possibilities.
But it all helps to the final day's positioning.
Of course it does. And everyone wants to win it.
Well, it's the coveted trophy.
Very shiny coveted trophy, of course.
Which I think means more than the money to these lads, to be quite honest. Murray Brown there, got ace in the hole, 6 showing.
The pride of the English team. He's actually been the highest point getter for the English team for the 2 years prior to this, both in 2002 and 2003. And already doing his team proud. He managed to pick up 32 points for England on the first day.
Belly cam shot, lovely shot.
In fact, not only did he get the most points for the English team in 2002, he was actually the highest individual points getter of any team in that year. This format really suits Murray's style of play. He's very good at hanging on to the later stages and gets good points for his team. Lally, on the other hand, is very good at winning things.
So all in all, a pretty formidable combination, Gary.
Yep, and it's proving to be too much for the Finnish boys and girls in this final. Just one of them to get through. Murray calls the 9,000 to try and knock out the last remaining one. Let's see if Lally wants to join the party. About 8,000 left after this. Nope, he decides to pass. Just the two of them to go. Murray checks. Pitkick Angus moves all in. Murray's definitely going to call, and he does. So it's on their backs.
Open card.
Murray doesn't look too happy. He's gambling with him. Fortunately for Murray, Caspary doesn't have all that much either. Just ace high. Oh, pair of kings for Murray. That's just what he needed to catch. That could spell the end for Pitkick Angus. Unless he can catch an ace on the end, he's going to be out. And he's gone. So that's it. English 1-2. Murray Brown just shaking Lally's hand. Well done there, Caspary. Did yourself proud. The English boys get 1 and 2. And the positions will just be decided on who's got the most chips, I think. They're not going to actually carry on playing. So let's hear what they have to say.
Turned out nice today, didn't it? Certainly for us. It didn't look that way at first. I don't know that we played too well together as a team in the beginning of the final, but it seemed to work out.
You need a bit of luck, definitely. There's no question about it. I was right down to probably 4 chips like this and came back up again, and yes, absolutely, great.
So let's see how that's changed the leaderboard. Still out in front, the defending champions Team Sweden with 172. In second, England 134, Finland 126, Scotland 94, Team Ukraine 84, Baltic States 46, and Team Russia bringing up the rear with 36.
It's been a great day's team poker. We've witnessed an English triumph here with Doolally Lally and the team captain Murray Brown sweeping the board before them. So why not join us in our next programme, which will be high-low 7-card stud and Omaha, and it will be day 3 of the Partypoker.com European Nations Poker Challenge. So do join us, myself, Keith Koikarp-Allen, Gary the Choirboy Jones, for some fabulous team poker.